We locked on Jaguars. I got a question for you. What has Urban actually done? Here's my answer. Nothing. Nothing positive that's going to affect this team in the future. And I don't know if they should be trusted to fix what I think they broke. I'll tell you about it in just a second.
You are Locked On Jags, your daily Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, good people? What's going on, man? It's your man Tony Wiggins here with Locked On Jaguars, where we are your team every day. And we thank you for making us your first listen every single day here on Locked On Jaguars, where we are free on all platforms. I got a question for you. And I already answered this question or asked this question and answered it. What has Urban actually done for this franchise that you could honestly look and make a positive assessment and say, this is something he did? Okay, here's my answer. Nothing. Nothing at all. The Jaguars fall to the Atlanta Falcons after a rough start, very slow start, losing 21-14. Tried to rally, sort of playing tempo in the second half, but the Falcons pretty much did what they wanted to do in the first half. Causing turnovers, causing mishaps, continuing to force the Jaguars to make dumb plays after the whistle on third down, which didn't allow them to get off the field early. And the Jaguars absolutely struggled once again in the first half, going into halftime down 21-3 and or 14-3 actually. It's just lifeless performance all over the place. I'm not going to give you a play-by-play for the game because you guys all saw it. Trevor Lawrence continues to have struggles. At times, it looked like he's running for his life. At times, he did do a good job of getting outside of the pocket and running the football. That's not something you want to see him have to do all the time. But once again, the receivers really can't get open. No separation, no creativity in the offense. James Robinson wasn't very effective. It doesn't seem to be himself. Seems like he's a little banged up. He fumbled like for the first time ever and got pretty much benched for like 16 plays. So we're going to discuss that a little bit too, because Urban Meyer basically said when he was asked about it that he doesn't micromanage his position coaches, which could be a good thing because he hasn't done a good enough job to look like he warrants micromanaging anybody. But it's also a bad thing that means you stand around and let stuff happens that shouldn't happen. What has he done? Honestly, what has Urban done to make you think that anything's changed? I think it's gotten worse. And I know people say, well, 1-10 is not as bad as this point last year. They were 1-10. 2-9 is progress. And I know you can go back and listen to podcasts from me about 3 weeks ago saying they've actually improved. So what happens in the NFL is this. Once you improve, other people improve. Or you improve while people improve. But eventually who you are is going to show back up. Again, once teams continue to make adjustments and those teams start to develop a little bit more of an identity as the season goes along. That's what's happened. What's happened is the guy who came in with all of the big promises and all of the big words that said that he's been studying the NFL for a long time and this is the perfect situation. And he came out because he wanted to coach Trevor and they get to start from scratch. He's made it worse. How do I feel that he's made it worse? And when I say, do you want to trust them moving forward to fix what they've broken? You can always say, Wig, this thing has been broken for a long time here in Jacksonville. What do you mean he broke it? It's been broken forever. But it got fixed mentally and psychologically in the mind of the fans and the community with a New York Jets victory. And it was being fixed while you were suffering. Last year was like having a cast on. You had a broken leg, they put a cast on, right? It's being fixed while you're stuck and you're immobile and you're limping around and you can't get around like you want to. And that thing is itching and you're sticking a clothes hanger down in there, scratching your leg. And then they take the cast off, and all during the practices and training camp, they're allowing you to regain your strength. What if you go through all of that only to find out that your leg wasn't healed, and as soon as you think you can walk regularly, it breaks again? That's what I mean by they broke it, because something got fixed before they got here. And by them, I mean the staff. What got fixed was the psyche of the fan base was at an all-time high the day he walked in and got hired. The enthusiasm of the city and even the owner, the optimism of the owner, all of those things were at an all-time high without them even having to win anything. It felt better around here for about 5 or 6 months than it probably did the entire 2017 season when those guys were making a run. Because then I think people were like, I can't believe it, we're finally good. Now it's like, I can't believe it, we're finally going to be able to be sustainably good for a long time. And to boot, we have the patience to hang in here because we know it's not going to happen overnight. What they didn't expect was to actually play the same or be worse or appear to not be able to say or point to anything tangible that has been done by Urban Meyer and his coaching staff and his regime since they took over. You would have, I promise you, you would have won a bunch of money from me if you hit me up back in March or April and you tell me a week 11 game, home game in 50-degree weather, that stadium would be half full with Trevor Lawrence as their quarterback. They did this. They broke this. They broke their own promises. And in the process, they probably broken the spirit of the fan base. And I'm wondering if they've broken the spirit of Shad Khan. Does he even realize? And I know people out there like, man, he's a loser. He doesn't want to win. I just think he's just really, really patient. And he could probably be more hands-on. But if he doesn't think that he can actually affect the team, maybe he's better off not being hands-on. And the mistake this time was putting Urban Meyer in charge to be hands-on. A football guy now. Football guy. Even Shad, who you guys say doesn't do enough stuff, I know even he's like, this ain't it. At some point, you have to be, right? At some point, you have to be. I'm going to talk about some of the disjointed parts of this team, and some of the things that they've made a mistake. In segment 3, what I'm going to hit is, do you trust them to fix it? Do you trust them to fix it? And how realistic is it that they can fix it? But more about yesterday's game and more about what I think probably has to happen moving forward and why I just don't feel good about this regime. And I'll point out some specific things, and I'll do it in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars after I tell you about Direct TV Stream. I needed this weekend and this holiday, man, because these devices that I have on the back of my TV, they must have been overloaded or something because they kept buffering. And they didn't want to work. So I need to I'm telling you to do it. I need to do it. I need to call Direct TV Stream and get your TV together and get my TV together, right? I know it sounds familiar to you guys that things don't work, the Wi-Fi goes out, a little bit of bad weather happens, the TV starts buffering. What I want you to know about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle, and great way to finally get your TV together. It's called Direct TV Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. So you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and all the confusion, all those different passwords and remotes, and get your TV together with Direct TV Stream. And you can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device is required, and content varies by package. All right, man, we're going to roll along here on a Tuesday, and we thank you It's Tuesday, a Monday, where we thank you for making us your first listen here on Locked On Jaguars, and thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube as well. It's just a season full of disappointment. Yesterday, you had a team that is rebuilding. You picked first, they picked fourth. You have a rookie coach, they have a rookie coach. You have a GM in his first year in Baalke, they have a first-time GM in Terry Fontenot, right? They got a new stadium, basically. Maybe it's 2 years old now. You have the promise of a future of a new practice facility. They got rid of Julio, and they were going young with their receivers. The number one receiver, Calvin Ridley, is out for personal reasons. They have an older quarterback that people thought that they should have gotten rid of for the younger quarterback, the type of quarterback that you have. You have one of the best running backs from a season ago. They have a guy playing running back who was a career wide receiver. Your secondary is supposed to be better than theirs because they didn't have a bunch of salary cap space to go out and sign people. They were missing the best middle linebacker yesterday. They do have a great player in Grady Jarrett, I'll give you that. But you have a great player in Josh Allen, some other key pieces, and Miles Jack and all of this stuff. So yesterday to me was a measuring stick. They had played poorly coming into this game. They had scored 3 points in the last 2 games prior to the game against you as a Jaguars fan. This was supposed to be you saying, we're better than them. We've done more than they've done. Because in the offseason, they didn't do anything. The Falcons couldn't. They were strapped. The Falcons, like I said, they started unloading stuff. The Falcons really, really didn't. In fact, I had Aaron Freeman from Locked On Falcons on last week. Aaron used to joke on social media like, okay, free agency did start, didn't it? Because what are we going to do? We haven't done anything. They were unloading players. You were gaining players. Yesterday, I saw a bunch of wide receivers, guys who, if I didn't cover the NFL, I would have never known their name, find a way to get open when they needed to. Get schemed up in the red zone. Little shallow crossers and little H posts and little things that they were able to do to score touchdowns in the red zone. How they were able to control the clock early in the game. I don't see anything scheme-wise here in Jacksonville. Now, Urban basically agrees with you. Urban says, and I'll quote, when he was asked, how come they haven't been able to build an offense around Trevor? I think it was Mike DiRocco from ESPN that asked him that. Urban says, that's a good question. We haven't been able to figure that out. We should have done that by now. Really? You think? Are you certain that you should have done that by now? Hell yeah, you should have done it by now. We all know that. A dog could tell you that. The question is why? I think the answer for him is going to be what it always is. It's somebody else's fault. I think the answer for Urban Meyer is going to be that this somehow we got to get coaches that understand, and we got to get, okay, but now let's go back to this other thing. Who hired those people? You studied the league forever, you said, right? See, him saying that he studied the league forever sounds a lot like him calling everybody a warrior. The fat needs to be trimmed off of this team. He says, you just figuring out what guys are capable of. This ain't college where you build everybody up. This ain't college where you pat everybody on the back all the time. These guys are pros, man. They're getting paid. And this is the one time I'm going to sound like the disgruntled fans that I usually get on. Dude, y'all punished the one guy who keeps it. James Robinson yesterday was essentially punished for fumbling the ball. And it appears to us And he's the one guy that keeps his head down all the time and isn't paid very much money and acts like a professional. That's like the wrong guy to use as an example. What about some of these boneheads that jump off sides? Oh, no, you won't say anything to them on defense because they're your warriors. Because they're always chirping in interviews. It's because they got all the swag that you like. You say you don't like the shy corner, and I think you were talking about CJ sideways when you were trying to talk about Tyson Campbell in a positive way. By the way, Tyson Campbell, shout out to Tyson Campbell. He played a real good game yesterday. But it seems like there's this overemphasis on puffing your chest out and the bravado and swag and personality. Instead of just focusing on can you play or can you not? This obsession with Dewey Wingard is because he's a warrior and he's a leader and you love him and he's running around like he can't play, man. He's all right, but he shouldn't be your starting safety. This obsession with these rah-rah guys, and it doesn't surprise me, considering you know what I'm talking about. This obsession with that type of stuff, and this emphasis on speed. I mean, everybody wants guys that can run. That ain't nothing new. Gil Brandt and those guys did that back in the 60s. And Tom Landry and Hank Stram, not Hank Stram, but all of those the Dallas Cowboy people. They did that. Give me the biggest, fastest guys I can. Bill Parcells said that in the 80s. Joe Gibbs said it. That's nothing new. This focus, this overemphasis on getting guys that can run and having guys that have the right attitude. Man, you just need guys that just know how to play. You're getting beat by a lot of quiet dudes who don't run as fast as the guys you got, but they whooping them. Yeah, it should have been figured out by now. Here's the reality. I don't think Urban Meyer and his people have it figured out. And somebody said yesterday, man, pretty soon your podcast is going to sound like a broken record. I mean, what are you talking about pretty soon? They already sound that way. But you can't ignore the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is every single time we turn around, especially when he starts opening his mouth in press conferences, which makes it appear that he's not myopically focused on what's in front of him. Now, go back a couple of weeks ago when I said something about this. People said, man, Urban could do anything and y'all will get upset. Now go back and ask yourself why 2 weeks ago he was talking about that he recruited the top 3 wide receivers in the draft. Go back and ask yourself right now why that should be a focus when they can't even line up on the field correctly. Go back and ask yourself why I said that stuff shouldn't matter when he is asked why Trevor Lawrence, you weren't able to build an offense around Trevor, and you said, we haven't figured that out yet. That's a good question. Now go ask yourself why I got so upset that he was focused on guys that are playing college right now instead of guys in his own locker room. I hope it starts to make sense to you. Because some of y'all don't see it when I first do it. And when I go, uh-oh, here we go again. Why is he always talking about college? Why is he always talking about recruiting? Why is he even talking about next year? Most NFL coaches don't even watch college football, bro, because they realize the task in front of them is too big for them to be focusing on something that ain't their damn business. You got scouts to be watching those games. You don't do that. You cannot show up and not have an answer for what is wrong with your team, but you got to answer for stuff that ain't your damn business. All right, man, we're going to talk about, since I just set that up that way, do you trust them? Do you trust that there's going to be, that these guys are the ones moving forward? Or is next year just another wasted year or an opportunity for them to win 4 or 5 games or 6 games and make you guys believe that they're on their way back up when they actually I think this staff is toast, but I don't think I think a lot of the guys that get run out of here are gonna be scapegoats, and really, Urban probably should be the one leading them out the door with his bags packed as well. I'll discuss that in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars. It's here, the Monday of the year, Cyber Monday, and Built.com is the place to aim your mouse. Get at least 20% off of everything delicious and healthy. That's 20% off site-wide, and even bigger discounts on Built Boost, broth, and Built Swag. A brand new Built Bar flavor has landed just in time for Cyber Monday. It's caramel almond delight. Ooh. And it delivers everything it promises. Caramelized chocolate, check. Almonds, check. Delightful, double check. Be sure to get yours before they're gone. 150 calories and 17 grams of protein. And this season, maybe you're craving white chocolate. For a limited time, get a special new Built Bar Puffs flavor. White chocolate cheesecake. The yummy protein treat filled with marshmallowy center and covered in white chocolate. Only 140 calories and 17 big grams of protein. 'Tis the season to save and give your taste buds the gift of Built Bar. Get to Built.com for these incredible tasting new bars and 20% off everything. Head to Built.com, enter the promo code LOCKED20 before it's too late. And we know it's post-Thanksgiving. Now we're headed to Christmas, and we know what that means. It's football. It's people jockeying for the playoffs. It's college postseason about to get going, and nothing goes better with football than BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered all holiday season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this holiday season. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website. Sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code Locked On to receive that bonus. That's right. It's 50% welcome bonus when you use the promo code Locked On. It ain't just football, man. It's hoops. Hoop season is starting to heat up. There's been boxing all the weekend. I know another upset this past weekend. UFC and your favorite Vegas casino game. So don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available as we approach the end of the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline. We're stuffed with deals this holiday season. And we are stuffed with you guys in our face early every morning, making us your first listen because we're Locked On Jaguars, and it's free on all platforms, including YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and find out wherever we are. Get there every single day. And we appreciate you making us your first listen as well. Listen, man. Can they fix it? I don't think so. I mean, I'll never say never, but no. Can it improve? Sure. Yep, they can. But if you want a Cadillac organization, right now you got a DeLorean that ain't no good. And if you want, you can upgrade that to a Ford Fusion, but you still ain't going to have a Cadillac with this crew. Shout out to Ford Fusion. Ain't nothing wrong with a Ford Fusion. But if you want a Cadillac, it's not a Cadillac. And right now, this thing is a clunker. If Urban Meyer and his staff was a car, we would be going to get the lemon law applied to him in court. And we want our money back. We would. People selling tickets all left and right, man. You couldn't have told me that this was going to happen. Dude doesn't know the reason. He doesn't know. He doesn't even understand the reason. He doesn't even know what his players are capable of. But yet and still, it's like every week they're running dudes in and out of here like this is training camp. There's a new wide receiver and a new combination of a running back and a new. The only area they're not doing that is defensively, and it's not because of injuries. Don't let nobody tell you that. DJ Chalk got hurt, but other than that, all of these dudes they're running. I'm serious. They are literally. They're running wide receivers and running backs and tight ends or whatever, all of that stuff up and through that building like they're auditioning for a Chris Brown video or something. It's amazing to me. Oh, He's fast. Here, put this uniform on. Run a 9 route in the first quarter of the game. He didn't catch it. Okay, we're going to send you deep again. He's fast. Go. Oh, okay, it doesn't work. Okay, we're going to sit you down and you'll be on the practice squad. And we're gonna, he's been released. We'll pick up a new guy. Show me what you got. It's almost like in the 5 Heartbeats when the dude said, show me what you got. And then they dance for him. And he said, like I said, that wasn't blank. Show me your best combination. That is literally what this is like. This is like an audition every single week for some fast dude. Meanwhile, receivers that ain't fast are catching touchdowns on Jacksonville. It's just the overemphasis and the leading with this one thing that they're obsessed with that is absolutely driving me crazy. And the reason that they do that is because speed and explosiveness seems to mask that you aren't nuanced in the details. Listen to him again. I'm going to say it again. Speed, explosiveness, and big plays, and depending on big plays, mask the fact and hide the fact that you aren't nuanced in all of the little things that's required for you to win consistently. Because you think you're going to big play somebody to death in the NFL, you're wrong. The NFL is about winning those, as he calls it, the root canal games. Yeah, you're gonna have about if you're a good team in the NFL, you're still gonna have 13 or 14 of those root canal games out of 17. That's what the NFL is about. And if you think the regular season is that way, when the playoffs come, that's a serious root canal. Yeah. I just don't think he has it. I was wrong. I was one of the people that was singing the praises of bringing in a CEO here and somebody that has the credibility. And he had it. He had the credibility. He had the credibility from everywhere and from everyone. And because of him, and this is why I got the off-field stuff. I don't worry about it. But the thing is you do worry about it when you see the lack of preparation and the incompetence on the field. Well, now you look at that stuff and go, oh, well, maybe that's why they don't get, because maybe he's fooled us this whole time, making us think that he's this detail-oriented guy, when really no, he just had better players than everybody else, and he had a whole bunch of good coaches. That doesn't fly in the NFL. The coaches that are good in the NFL are guys that don't sleep. And I don't know if it's a good thing, but because I suffer from sleep deprivation, but maybe that's why they get burnt out. Maybe that's why a lot of good coaches get burnt out and they don't stay a long time, because they're guys that just don't sleep. But the details just aren't there. And he's not playing against air, y'all. This is why I don't think it's ever going to change. Because every single guy he has to go through in order for the Jaguars to get to where they're going to be, they are that way. They don't pretend to be. They ain't turning into that. That's just how they yoke right now. Right now, this is who they are. That's what they are when they wake up in the morning. It's what they're going to be when they go to bed at night. That's what they're going to be when they retire. They are that kind of guy. And he just ain't that dude. He wants to keep talking about recruiting and speed and warriors and all this stuff. That stuff doesn't fly in the NFL, man. And it's so shallow. And one of the things that I warned against this, that he's gonna sound like Gus Bradley after like year 2.5 or going into year 3. Gus, you run through a brick wall for Gus until you realize that there was no substance. You ain't have no sand in your pocket. And now when Gus talked now, it was like, oh God, please shut up. Well, Urban has managed to do that in 11 games. He's outdone Gus Bradley in the, man, please be quiet. But I don't want him to be quiet, because every single time he opens his mouth, he validates everything that most of you guys think and what I think. And to the fans that sit there and want to tell me all the time, be patient, you're giving up. No. This ain't about patience, and this ain't about quitting. This ain't about none of that. You know what this is about? This is about reality. This is about reality. And this is about don't pretend that you don't see what you see. You do. There's something wrong here with this. And I don't think he can fix it. I absolutely do not think he can fix it. I tell you what you can fix, though. You can fix the way you gamble and bet and wager. Before you go to Bet Online, you need to make your second listen Locked On Bets with your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, and expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. Make sure you make that your second listen every single day. All right, man. So hopefully we'll get some more sound bites that I can discuss with you here on Locked On Jaguars, because he's always going to give us one or two of them. Now it's on to the Rams, who have their own issues going on, but you think they're scared? Tell you, this time next week, they're going to be 2-10. The Rams can't beat good teams, but they damn sure can beat bad teams. And make no mistake about it, the Jaguars are a bad team, and it doesn't feel like it's getting any better. But we'll still be here tomorrow talking about it, and I hope you guys take care of each other and join me tomorrow, as you do always, here on Locked On Jaguars. Until then, man, Tony Wiggins, we'll see you.